Hi, everybody, and welcome to yet another DualShockers discussion. This time around for the video game Hyperscape, which somebody is not really keyed into here, but we'll get into that. My name is Logan Moore. I'm the managing editor here at DualShockers, and today I am joined by Michael Ruiz, who's cleaning his glasses. Hi, Michael.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
You're such a sleepy boy.
No, I'm not that sleepy. I've been up for like the past 3 hours. So
I've been up for like an hour.
I've been up for like 10 minutes and just threw on this.
I'm the sleepy one.
So
and then Mario Rivera,
yes,
as always, is here with us.
What's happening? Why was I summoned? What are we doing again?
So to loop you guys in, as you can see by the title of this video and everything that very obvious what we're going to talk about. Ubisoft has a new game coming out. It is called Hyperscape. Michael and I played Hyperscape last week for about 3 hours, I think. Yeah. Mario has not played this game. Mario knows nothing about this game.
I'm looking at the footage for the first time.
But we wanted to bring Mario in for multiple reasons. One, because he's got to run the board so that we can record these videos. And two, I thought it would be interesting, honestly, to have an outsider's perspective on what we played and maybe have you ask some questions about it. So in a general sense, go for it.
I was also going to say, I think Mario will like this game.
Really?
I will have to say, after playing it, I think Mario will like this game.
I think it's good. Yeah, I've been toiling on a little bit more, and I like what we played a lot last week, actually. So Mario,
yes.
What if I told you there is another major publisher who's about to come out with a battle royale game?
Is it EA? Because they need something.
No, they have Apex.
Oh, that's right. Well, not a battle royale. Oh, it is a battle royale. No, you're right. Never mind. Strictly for the record.
So yeah, the battle royale field right now. It's what? PUBG, Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty Warzone,
the Battlefield one,
Fallout 76,
Realm Royale.
That's right. Yeah.
We named the big ones. Radical Heights. Rest in peace, Boss Key. Anyway. So Ubisoft is finally getting in on this. They've not put out a battle royale game to my knowledge up until this point, unless there's something I'm totally missing. Wasn't there maybe a weird battle royale update for Honor at some point or something like that? Maybe.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. I feel like if they had one, it was like a limited time thing. Anyway, they're officially getting in on the battle royale field now. So Mario Hyperscape is a battle royale game. It is 25 squads of 4, I think.
It's of 3.
We played 3s. That was the thing. I think they turned it down to 3s in the demo.
I thought 4s. I thought they were teams of 3. Anyway, whatever.
It's either 3 or 4, one or the other. I think it's 4s at the most, because I think 25 squads is the max, and then there's 4 people per squad. So it's So it's a battle royale game, Mario. Which knee-jerk reaction? I'm gonna guess you're already kind of like, oh, okay, because we didn't know. So to peel the. So again, Mike and I played this game in a preview event last week. Played it for about 3 hours. We did not really know anything about it whatsoever before we played it. We had downloaded it and saw the name of it, but we didn't know what it was. So when we sat down and it was like a battle royale game from Ubisoft, we were like, oh man, here we go. And at least that was my initial reaction. The game's super fun though. It's like a cyberpunk type battle royale experience. It's all in a city. You all will have neon clothes and everything's glowing everywhere. I'm trying to think of the broad things. What are the broad?
I have all these notes that I took while they were doing the presentation, so I could kind of run through this.
Sure.
So
Mario, ask questions anytime you like.
Hyperscape is a battle royale. It's a first-person shooter battle royale. It's going to come out on PC.
Yes.
I think we could say that there's going to be a technical test. I think that's the thing we can say.
Yeah. I don't think we even know dates anyway.
Yeah.
Real quick question. What is nut? I saw something that said nut on the screen. Oh, that was just a person. My bad. Continue.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a person nutting on screen. It's set in 2054. It's semi-dystopian, I guess. Hyperscape is how they describe it. It's the internet of the future. I have here in quotes, where it's supposed to be this portal for kind of everything, but in this case, they're using it for battle royales. The mode that we played is called Crown Rush, and there's a squad and solo mode. Neo Arcadia was the map name. A lot of the map so this is kind of where we're going to start getting into like how this kind of differentiates from other battle royales. It's built more vertically than I think any of the battle royales that I've played.
Probably. Yeah.
It definitely like you're going up on top of, because it is in a city, but you're still like jumping up on top of rooftops and stuff like that. It's way more fast paced, and that's because of also like the gameplay is a bit more fast paced than like any other. Well, I guess like
this is the exact counter to Warzone. Like this is like everything we complained about with Warzone, where it's like, man, this game takes way too long to play. Like this is like way shorter version of
the matches we were playing, and we were getting in. I think the first the match that might be on. I don't know if you're playing the video or not.
I'm watching it because you should see my face, because I see you guys in these pods, and I see you guys falling to the ground.
Also, sorry for my bad gameplay.
That's fine.
But we got an 8th the first time and 6th like the second time or something like that, and that's pretty good out of like 25 squads or whatever for first time or whatever.
I don't know if there are 25 squads though, which makes it maybe
there
not
was.
as good.
I think there were 20.
I think it's 20. I'm seeing the number now. It says 20.
But I lost my train of thought. But yeah, those matches only lasted like 9 minutes.
Okay.
Which is
they're pretty short. It's really fast paced.
Yeah. And I think that's like partly because of the gameplay, because it's a really fast-paced first-person shooter, but also like you're constantly moving, and I think they do a good job of like having you keep on moving and like changing up the battlefield a whole bunch, because there's also these events. So a big thing about it is that it's going to have a lot of Twitch integration into it, which is like, so
people can like vote on like certain, like there's like certain modifiers that happen like midway through these matches where all of a sudden it's like,
one of them's like anti-gravity.
Extra cooldowns are now available for your abilities, because you have like abilities you can use. We can get into like the deeper mechanics of it all in a second, but you have like abilities and like I don't know. There's like weird events that can happen in the middle of these games, and if people are watching it on Twitch, they can like vote for what they want it to be based on which streamer they're watching. I'm not exactly sure how all of that's going to work, to be completely honest, because we obviously didn't play in a live environment with like the Twitch stuff turned on. But that's about as basic as I think it is right now.
By the time I think this video goes up, I'll have some kind of interview kind of piece going up about how they want to make this game as they say, quote unquote, like game as a spectacle. The idea is to kind of get everybody involved with a match, so that includes like the viewer on like Twitch and all the players that are playing to like kind of be part of the match. So like the viewers have the opportunity to change up the match by doing these in-game events, which happen a lot throughout the entire match. I think even like us getting in last place, they happen like 2 or 3 times per match. And they're like pretty significant like modifiers. One of them's like the ones that we experienced, at least the one was like there's a bunch of health packs just lying around, or there's we didn't experience it, but it's one that they said is like there will be like anti-gravity where you'll be like flying all over the place and stuff like that. So
there's another one where you can get like a triple jump. I think you naturally have a double jump in the game, so you're kind of just bouncing all over the place all the time. So you'll end up getting stuff like that. The difference between like you can turn it off, that's what they said in like our interview, like you could turn off the Twitch integration, but there'll still be those events, but they won't be, some of them are like exclusive to like the Twitch integration thing.
Got it, with people being involved, right?
I feel like we're inundating Mario with a lot of information all at once.
I'm trying to connect it, and like immediately to me it reminds me of the movie Running Man, which obviously is a battle royale movie.
A little bit,
you know. So it's this contest where people are watching, and that's to me, or Hunger Games, right? It's the Hunger Games effect of like the crowd is getting involved, and then their emotions are tied to the actual gameplay to the game, and then they affect the game in some way.
And the cool thing, I thought the cool thing about it was that like whether you're watching or playing, like all of your progress, like even if you're watching, you'll still progress your like battle pass. There's battle passes, obviously. Because every game like this has to have a battle pass. So
I think they said something about maybe the first one being free or something like that. Like out of the gate.
I believe so. So
there's a lot of other things with this though that we can get into. I think
do you want to get into like how the weapons and hacks work?
Yeah, so like I feel like we're just having to explain all the aspects of the game, which actually makes sense because by the time
I am showing the video, so if people are like connecting what you're saying to it, then by all means.
Well, by the time this goes out too, like it's going to be by the time people are watching this video, this is going to be the first day that people have even really heard about this game or really seen it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your loadouts really consist of 2 weapons that you can find, and then 2 hacks, which are basically like Destiny abilities.
Yeah, their abilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and they're mapped to like we played on PC, but I use a controller, but like they're mapped to like your bumpers on controller. So it's similar to Destiny like that. Anywho, so I think there's like 9 hacks in the game or something like that. And there's random things of like either throwing down like a healing pool thing where if you stand in it, you'll heal up. You can get like a slam ability where you'll like fly way up into the sky and come down and blast people. Okay. You can like set mines around the battlefield. There's some that are like shields that protect you. Mm-hmm. A bunch of different stuff like that. The guns are pretty. There's some pretty basic ones like your snipers and your shotguns, your assault rifles, pistols and magnums, things like that. And then there's some like more outside the box stuff like alternate takes on like bazookas and like chain guns and things like that. Mm-hmm. So there's a good mix. Your grenade launchers too. That was the one that was actually wrecking a lot of people.
Yeah. That was
when you got a full modded up version of that. So that's the thing. So the cool thing about this game, the reason that I personally really like jived with this game when we were playing it, is that I think a lot of it's weird because I like PUBG a lot, but PUBG is like way more slower paced, and it gives you a chance to actually find some upgrades for your guns and find a new stock or a new red dot sight, or I don't know, any of those things that you're finding while you play PUBG, all those like little attachments to improve your weapons. Yeah. Your guns are just very flat. Like even the most baseline levels, it's like you'll have a sight, you'll have I mean, the guns work all the same. Okay. If you find another version of that gun though, like let's say I pick up a grenade launcher and then I'm looting through a house and I come across another grenade launcher, basically I pick that grenade launcher up and I just fuse it. I think it's called fusing.
It's called fusing, yeah.
So instead of like the traditional sense of like guns that have like level progressions to them, like a green gun, a blue gun, a purple gun, a legendary. Yeah. Can you upgrade your gun just by finding another version of that gun?
Yeah, it's super simple. Okay. So basically, and that works for everything in the game, the hacks too. So like if you already have like one of the healing hacks and you run across another one, boom, and you find another one. It's just like these really small upgrades that they do to your gun. So like if I was to find another small healing hack upgrade, it would probably decrease my cooldown time on that ability by just a little bit. If I found another grenade launcher that I came across and I combined that into my other one, it would like increase my damage very slightly, or it would increase like my magazine size for it or something like that. So I have more shots to shoot. I think they max out at like 5 or 6 of those. So if you
leave it at 5, yeah.
Yeah. So if you fuse them 5 times, you can get like the fully upgraded versions of them. So there were some games where I had like 2 fully upgraded guns and 2 fully upgraded hacks. I think that happened like once or twice. But once that happens, you feel pretty darn good. And so yeah, it's really it all comes back to service that whole fast-paced idea of this. I feel like there were only a couple times I feel like we really actually were like, there's only one time specifically I can remember where we were actively like, let's actually camp and see what happens, because a lot of times I feel like you can do that in other battle royale games, but in this one, we were always moving to some degree.
It almost seems like you can't, and given the nature that you have to always upgrade yourself.
Yeah. And part of the thing about constantly being on the move too is that I feel like the timers for when the battlefield starts to shrink were way less. Like it was like 60 to 90 seconds at max, and then things started to shrink. So
yeah. The other thing too was that if there aren't like a full group of 100 or whatever it's supposed to be, it actually shrinks the map. So other sections are already like taken off the map. Gotcha. So it already makes the map smaller from that, which I personally liked a lot, because like playing other battle royales and just having this giant freaking map and there's not like a full 100 people playing.
Yeah, imagine playing Warzone and you're only playing with like 60 people or something for some reason. Yeah. Not that would happen typically, but imagine like it wasn't a full lobby.
So it's kind of just be traveling.
Yeah. So like then you're playing. So you're playing with less. So yeah, they automatically shrink the map, and like flat out gray out certain sections of the map that you're not allowed to go to in those instances. And that's the other cool thing too. The one thing that I started to like the more we played was that the way that the map closes itself off, or whatever, it starts to shrink or whatever as the time goes on. It's not just like a broad circle that begins closing. It's like different divisions of the city start to kind of like just wear away. So it's more separated by like city blocks and things like that are kind of eroding, rather than just circle close and we all got to get tighter. So because the whole thing is on like a sort of a grid layout and it's designed like a city, they can just sort of like, oh, well, this city block's about to fall away and this one over here is about to go away too.
Makes it a little bit less predictable, you know?
Yeah.
There were times where like, oh, we're okay. We're in this section. Like this section's like pretty full, while this other section is like literally like, it looks like a bridge of like city blocks.
Yes.
And then there's like one like big chunk and we're like, oh, we're okay. We're in that big chunk. And then ours goes away. And we're like, oh, we gotta go. And then we had, it just felt way more unpredictable, like in terms of like how the I guess the circle or whatever like closes on you. So
okay,
there's the broad elevator pitch. I think we touched on mostly everything.
No, for sure. I guess generally I just want to maybe talk about the look of the game, because I've been staring at the footage for a minute, and while I think that the outside city definitely looks good, I am noticing that you guys are going into rooms and there's like nothing in them other than just general stuff. Is that going to be a big thing about this game?
I felt like every room had something. I think
they had an ability I saw, but just like the rooms are just empty walls. Oh, okay, sure.
I meant like decor like design, super detailed or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because right now I'm trying to find an identity for this game, and right now it's, to me, just as loose as possible, as opposed to something that has a set personality. I mean, it feels like a Ubisoft game, so there's a start there.
I feel like
I think over time it'll just expand and differentiate itself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I felt like the future thing was like different enough, because I don't think there are a lot of battle royales set in like
Apex, I guess would be the one.
That's like, that would be the one. But
Fortnite is set in a dystopian hell where Travis Scott is 150 feet tall and is dancing around on an island.
You can watch Aquaman, Batman, stormtroopers all fight each other.
Yeah, you can watch Inception on a large video screen.
I think this game won't separate itself in terms of like its look, because I don't think its look is anything to go crazy about. But I thought the gameplay itself was like really, really fun. Like I was having I don't play battle royales a whole lot. Like it's just something I don't play.
Sure.
And we've gone over that, like at least with Warzone, where it's like it's such a long match. It's the reason why, like, I know it's not a battle royale, but it's like a reason why I don't like playing Valorant a whole bunch, because those matches are like, this is like a 30-minute time. Like this is 30 minutes of 13. First to 13. It's like, this is ridiculous. They have
short matches though. They have like 4-minute matches.
They do, but I don't like it as much. You know,
it's
something in the middle.
Yeah, I just make it so that it's like up to 7 matches. Like cut it in half. It's fine. But yeah, like it never. I feel like I never felt like you could just, like, after each match you can't go right back in. It never felt like that. I feel like with like Warzone and stuff like that, it always feels like I'm in there. If I'm going, I'm in there for like 30 minutes at least. This one felt like I could at least get like more than one match in within 30 minutes, you know, within like an hour. Technically we got like, I don't know, we probably played like 6 to 7 matches of this, because one, we were bad.
I mean, probably even the long matches, I felt like, where we were like,
it was like 15 minutes.
You know, so it's like very much. And in that regard, I think it's the perfect kind of new battle royale game to enter the field, especially coming off of the back of Call of Duties, which I just think is way too long.
Yeah.
The thing about this one too. What'd you say?
Said 200 people, baby.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
no,
it sounds so bad. The thing about this one too is that, like, the one thing I complain about a lot with Warzone is that I think it's too easy for people to come back.
Sure.
With this, it's actually super easy for people to come back too. Like, there's a way for you to get back in the game. Once you actually die, you turn into like a ghost.
Can you actually explain that? Because I'm seeing that. Yeah. Can you explain that?
So once you die, you basically can still have full control of your character. You're like a ghost person. You can run around and you can still spot people and ping out where they're at for your for your teammates. So you're like still playing a pretty active part in the game. The way you revive is once you kill somebody, like some little like platform thing will drop beneath where they died. And if your ghost person runs over that little platform thing, and then a live person on your team runs up to that platform, they can like activate it and after like a 5 or 7 second like activate phase, the person that died can come back on your team. So it's actually a pretty easy, like if you engage in like a team fight or whatever, and like one person on your team dies, but then you like wipe out the rest of the enemy team, like it's really easy for that person to just immediately get back because they can run over one of those enemy team platforms or whatever and get back in the game. Gotcha. So in that regard, it's like super easy to get in and out, and you have unlimited revives. Like you can keep coming back the entire game. Like there were some games we played where I revived people like 5 times.
Nice.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it's really easy to come back, but the games are still super fast paced. Okay. And so like, yeah, like it's weird because that was my biggest complaint with Warzone, is that it just seemed like people were coming back left and right nonstop the whole time. And yet with this, people are coming back pretty frequently and the games are still not very long. The last aspect we didn't really touch on is like Mike mentioned, the mode we were playing was called Crown Rush. Yeah. Once you get down to like the last couple people or the last couple groups or whatever, and it's a small enough area that's left, rather than it just being first team to, or last team standing, first team to kill all the other teams around them, a crown will spawn at some spot in the map, and whoever grabs the crown was in. It's kind of like a capture.
45. I think it's 45 seconds.
Yeah, it's kind of like a capture the flag style thing, or I don't know. What's that stupid Halo? The one with the skull or whatever, where you're trying to hold it.
Oddball. Oddball.
Yeah, it's kind of like Oddball. So basically somebody will grab the crown, and then if they hold the crown for 45 seconds without dying, you win automatically. So it's an interesting take to end games where you aren't just all holding up in different houses waiting for one person to make a bad move and then the other team.
It kind of forces you to like keep on, like to go out rather than holding up, which I think goes with like their kind of direction of keeping it fast paced and keeping everybody moving.
Yeah. And it shows right where the person is who has the crown too. So like if you pick up the crown, you alert everybody else who's in the match exactly where you are, and they all have a bead on you.
That's
so everybody is running after you. It turns the game
from like a battle royale.
That one time where it happened for us, it was like chaos. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, there was like so many different teams all grouping up and just firing at each other.
That would be like the one, I guess, complaint or whatever that I have. It just feels like chaos all the time. Like there's so much happening in one match that like it kind of gets hard to follow, because there's always something happening and you're always like looking for stuff to upgrade your weapons and stuff, which is good. It makes the time go by faster at least. But sometimes I just felt like I was like running all over the place and not being able to keep up with, like Logan would be like, oh, I'm here or whatever. I'm like, I have no idea where this is. Like, I have no idea where you're at. Like and then I would have to take a second to like look and then go off to help Logan out or something.
I noticed that the game also tends to be a little bit vertical, where you're constantly jumping up on buildings and going through windows.
And that's and I think that's part, like I actually like that aspect of it, of making it more vertical.
I want them to add like an actual glass breaking sound to the windows, because I haven't heard the sound of the video. I don't know if
there's a glass breaking. Like if you hear the those yellow things you've seen, we're probably bashing in. If those make like a shatter sound.
Oh, they do make a shatter sound. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I think I really enjoyed my time with it. Surprisingly, like I'm kind of where you're at, Michael, where battle royale games are not really. I used to play a lot more of them, but I've kind of bounced off in recent years. If there's anything I did have a problem with in this game, I feel like the shooting doesn't feel amazing, honestly.
I think really there were some guns I really didn't like. I thought I would have liked the shotgun, and I always gravitate towards a shotgun because shotguns are awesome if they're really
if you
good.
Get a level 5 shotgun. It's pretty dirty,
but like
actually very dirty.
I'm looking at it right now.
But it was just a game it was just a gun. I didn't think it felt good, even if it was like a good gun by the time you upgrade it. Same with like they had this like bad pistol that was always bad all the time. Like I never felt like it was ever good. Like I don't even know why it's there, is what I'm saying.
Because you gotta put a pistol in the game.
Yeah. So there was just some guns there I was like, I don't really like this. But there's guns like the grenade launcher, which is crazy good. And I think like it seems like the bullets just lock onto the person, like if you kind of hit them a little bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't find that. I was really bad with the grenade launcher.
How
personally.
is actually the health and stuff like that? So I see that there's armor. There's
I think your health. I think your I don't think you have like a. So the armor is a hack. It's an ability that you could get.
Okay.
It's not actually like always with you.
How difficult is it to kill another player? Because it looks like it takes a bit.
It takes a bit if your weapons aren't upgraded.
Got it.
Even if you have like the grenade launcher, like it takes a lot of grenades to kill a person.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. Is like the shooting doesn't feel great. I didn't think, but also people are so mobile in this game as well. Like you can double jump, and there's a crazy slide in this game that I was using nonstop.
It's pretty awesome.
There's a slide. There's a really good slide in this game. So like it's really hard to lock onto people sometimes and actually get a good shot on them, especially if they're running away from you.
That's what I was wondering.
So in that regard, it's kind of hard to kill people sometimes.
I thought the assault rifle felt really good though in it, like the normal plain assault rifle. I thought that felt really good. But there's just a lot of ways to move around, and it's hard to get a bead on somebody. So that's why I think a lot of people gravitated towards like the there's like this I don't know, it's like a ray gun or something like that, where it shoots like a big ball, pretty much. Like it shoots out, and once it hits a surface, it like kind of blows up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people were using that, but it doesn't do a ton of damage, but it just knocks people away and stuff. But yeah, I thought it was also good because it kind of like with picking your weapons and stuff, you kind of have to be wary like with your team, because if you're picking the same weapon as like your teammates, then you're taking away their upgrades and stuff like that. I was trying to think of it that way, and sometimes I'd take something like Logan had, and I'd be like, damn it, I shouldn't have taken this, because now we're sharing upgrades, and I wouldn't have something upgraded while Logan did, or vice versa. So it was just like you have to really think about like your loadouts like as you go too. But yeah,
no, that's cool, because when you play, like, I mean, if you let you have a good team and you do call outs where it's like, I need this ammo or I need this thing, then it's good to have that constant communication. The fact that if you find a gun and you know that you're not going to use it, someone else in your team might, and then it helps them out. So that's actually that sounds good, because you always find useless equipment. So it's good to find that everything could be valuable. Yeah,
and if you have like a squad of 3, you're using two, like each person has like 2 different weapons. There are 9 weapons total. That's like 6 of the weapons. So just about everything that you're gonna, same with the abilities too, just about everything that you're gonna find in a building, there'll probably be something that you can use.
Gotcha.
Which is really cool. So yeah, I don't know. I thought it was really good.
The only other issue I really had, and maybe I'm totally thinking this up, but like because it's set in a city, there's a lot of buildings around, but you can't enter every building. Like there's only like select buildings that you can actually enter, which I thought was kind of weird.
I felt like there were a lot of the buildings you can go through, but there were times where I'm like,
there's times where like people were behind me and I was like trying to lose them. I'm like, shoot, I'll run into this building real quick, and there's like no doors to enter.
Yeah,
it's like
no doors. Yeah.
Well, crap. I guess I'm dead.
There were definitely times that were like that for sure.
Okay.
So it's like, and that's kind of strange to me, because most of the time, if you see a building in any battle royale game, whether it be, I don't know, literally any of the other ones I can think of, Apex, Fortnite, PUBG, if you see a building, you can go into it, and usually there's stuff to loot in there.
Yeah.
This was kind of weird, just because the whole map is buildings pretty much, just because it's a city layout.
Yeah, it looks more like a play model than an actual living city. So that's what I was wondering about that, because like,
that was something that was, in a way, like it is kind of like that, especially like in that starting area. You can like kind of look at the map like right at the beginning and kind of ping stuff. It kind of looks like that, like a little model. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, generally, I just think that the overall, it looks very like season 1, right? Just all basic stuff. Yeah, we'll see by season 5 that not only there'll probably be more maps, there'll probably be more variety there. Clearly, there's got to be some customization options, because your characters are just characters that you make, right? It looks like
there's 8 or 9 templates that you can choose from.
Okay,
so they are like set characters, but they're not
people
like
in the universe, or are they just?
Yeah, they're like
Apex
they each
style?
have names. They have names and stuff like that, and they emphasize to us that there's like a lot of backstory and lore in this game.
Okay, interesting.
So it's like, it's kind of like Apex's champions thing, except they're all the same. They all play the exact same. Like there's no difference. Sure. I think they have like different voice lines. That's about it.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
So
well, I hope they're, like I said, I hope that down the road, whatever comes to making this game fun, or what is the unlockable, like what is the other incentive to keep playing the game other than the game is fun, would be customizations. The ship thing that you guys drop in on, like those easily can be customized to anything. Just give me some echelon stuff so I can just put some Splinter Cell stickers on it. Something.
Yes.
You know? Put on the 3 glowing lights coming out of the back of it. Yes. Which would be wonderful. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping. To be honest, I would love to see a little bit more personality in the world. So, other than that, yeah, I'll give this a shot for sure. I mean, it's interesting because there's not a whole lot of first person shooters in the sense of like Call of Duty, not shooters in the sense of like Siege, where you have to be very tactical. So to see them do a first person game like this, it was like, oh, that's interesting. I'll give it a shot. Other than Far Cry, which also I feel is very different than a Call of Duty. So yeah, no, I was just thinking that most of the main questions that I had, which would be like the abilities that I'm seeing on screen, how the world actually closes up as opposed to before it's usually a cloud or something that shrinks in. So to see that the city blocks, fill out over time, it's kind of interesting. I guess majorly, who's going to draw mostly to this market? Is it going to be people that are, like Logan and you guys, where it's like 200 is just too much? Or is it just people that need that fast, quick pace, like action, like match?
I think that's what stands out the most about it to me. Yeah, like you can hop in. I mean, that's kind of how the Battle Royale genre as a whole has kind of, I think that's why it's caught on. It's because you can hop in, play a match or two, feel satisfied to some degree, and then hop out. Mm-hmm. It's less so with games like Warzone or PUBG, even for that matter. I think Fortnite honestly strikes a good middle ground of all that stuff, and that's probably why it's so popular. But yeah, for this, I think those who are looking for a tighter experience, those who are looking for, again, everything has just been really streamlined in this. Like a lot of the aspects of like finding additional, it's very just super basic. Like you are finding guns and you're finding hacks. And then once you find the guns and hacks you want, you're just looking for the same versions of those to upgrade them. And it is super simple. And then other than that, you're just trying to shoot other people and stay alive. So yeah, I really appreciate that they've kind of, because there's still, we've played like 25 matches of Warzone, and there's still things in that I don't understand.
I will teach you the ways.
Because like when you were like, oh, go to this box and grab your loadout, I was like, bro, what are you talking about? I don't understand any of this.
At that point, you didn't have any loadouts to begin with, so
I didn't. It's not like I play that game very much.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a normie when it comes to Call of Duty nowadays.
It's also like the loadout that I had was like meant for just normal multiplayer. I'm like, this is not very good for a battle royale.
Yeah, you actually gotta kit your literally a loadout for just battle royale.
Yeah, it's lame.
Yeah, I think I don't know. This one's weird. I don't know if it's gonna break through in a major way, but I definitely think I think what is here is good. Okay. Like I was seriously like when our preview time ended, I was like, dang, I kind of want to play this game some more right now. Like I was really enjoying my time with it, and I don't know if it was just because me and Mike were playing together and that was fun and we were tooling around. I don't know if it was the allure of actually winning a match, which we didn't do. We got close a couple times.
Yeah, there was like two times where we were
the furthest one we ever got was with Brandon Jones. We played him and we did pretty well. And we weren't even talking to him.
No, yeah.
We had actually been playing with somebody else from another site, I think from like PC Gamer most of the day.
Yeah, he was.
And then he had to go, so we started playing. We just randomly queued up with Brandon Jones, and we got to like final 3. So that was kind of fun. I don't know. I think there's definitely... It's going to be interesting because I think the Battle Royale genre is definitely reaching the point where it is oversaturated. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see, this is going to be the hero shooter thing all over again, where it's like stuff's just going to start coming out similar to how, what was this other stupid boss key game we already mentioned, Radical Heights. Lawbreakers came out and it was just like a dud.
Rest in peace, Lawbreakers.
And it was just because no one's willing to jump off at the games they're already playing. I'm seeing that point coming with the Battle Royale genre.
we've already had some people already fall off, like Radical Heights and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, some of them were much smaller.
the culling or whatever the hell the game's called.
Daisy, I guess.
Daisy.
I don't know.
H1Z1.
H1Z1, Car 1. Forza has a damn battle royale.
They do.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Battlefield had one, I guess. I don't know if anybody's playing Battlefield 5 anymore, though, at all. Anyway, yeah. So I'm wondering. I'm like really fascinated to see how everybody takes this one or perceives it.
Yeah.
Especially since Ubisoft's not been doing too hot lately in the news headlines. So I'm wondering if that will play any role in people deciding to jump into this game or not.
Yeah.
Overall, I enjoyed my time with it, though. And that's about the best thing I can say, is that once this comes out, I will actively probably hop in and play a few matches. Like, we should play a few matches. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, so why don't we can do a Let's Play?
We can do a Let's Play.
On the internet or stream.
I would be totally down to do that.
All right, cool.
I guess kind of to echo what Logan said, like, I am interested to see how this all pans out, because I think it maybe the battle royale genre isn't like oversaturated quite yet, but the ones that are there are very much like the pillars of that, and they are there and they're going to be there for a long time. And so to see something new come out from a big publisher and to see how that all pans out and see if they could actually, break into that scene and like become another pillar of that will be interesting. I'm not quite I just don't know if it has the legs to do it. I think it's really, I had a really fun time, and this would be one that I would play personally out of, and the only other one I like kind of had interest in playing sometimes is Apex, just because it is a little bit more fast paced and I like the shooting a whole bunch.
It's like, you should play Apex.
I haven't installed.
There you go.
But yeah, like I just really liked how fast paced it was. I have at length talked about video games being very long. I know that's been a hot take recently, but that is, but
I can't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. I couldn't see it.
But I do a lot of things, and I like when a shooter isn't like, especially a multiplayer shooter, doesn't take up like 45 to an hour of my time. So I felt like it, at least like it just felt like a good amount of pace for that kind of game. And I also really like the ideas that they have in there, and hopefully like in the future they could really like, tighten it up even more. But it is a game that I definitely want to play more of, like, for sure. Like I would love to play with you two for sure.
I'm looking at the map, like right now I'm watching you guys drop in, and I'm seeing the map as a whole, and I'm seeing these different areas. I'm curious as to like how different all the areas are that are blocked off, because it does look like a significant part of the map is like at the very beginning is cut off, right?
The bigger locations are definitely different. Okay. Other than that, the smaller hubs around the city, the ones that aren't orange, I think, like the orange ones are like the big marquee spots.
Gotcha.
All the other small little areas are all pretty similar.
I guess that's something that we should also mention too, is that like those big spots, those orange spots, are where like you'll find quote unquote the best gear. So like already fully upgraded gear.
Yeah.
So usually it's good to go to those spots, but
dangerous.
I mean,
that's where a lot of people tend to go.
A lot of people are going there.
Everyone's going to hospitals.
So yeah, it that was pretty neat too. Also, yeah, I guess that's where you kind of get like the different kind of like the variety in building types and stuff like that. Like one of them's like an arena, like a sports arena. The other one's like some, I don't know, it has like
Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's basically in the game. Like, so yeah, I think that's where you kind of get like the personality that you're looking for.
Okay.
Is like at those. The thing is that we went to those locations a couple times where like everyone's coming here and we're just dying. So we're gonna go to some of these smaller locations surrounding it, and maybe we'll find some good stuff.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see like where this goes, because I feel like the battle royales that are there, and they're always going to be there. And when something new comes in, it's like a test to see if it can kind of, hold up like the rest of them. So
I feel like if people can get past the initial eye roll that this will induce when it is announced, Ubisoft Battle Royale game, I think if people can get past that hurdle and actually try it, I think some people might be drawn in, surprisingly.
If people were able to do that with an EA Battle Royale game, I'm sure they could have. I'm sure they could do it with a Ubisoft one. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. I think
so that's Hyperscape.
Yeah. What do you think about the name?
I mean, I kept forgetting it until we did this, honestly.
I thought it, for the entire time, I thought it was hyperspace until we got there. And I'm like, I like almost called it hyperspace. And
I don't know. Apex Legends is not a good name.
Yeah, Apex Legends ain't great.
It became good.
Player Unknown's Battlegrounds is a terrible name. It's one of the worst names for a video game ever.
One of the worst games ever. But I think this tops it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Fortnite is not even... Fortnite's named after the part of the game that's...
Not even Fortnite.
Yes. So...
I mean, and Warzone is like the most cookie cutter name I've ever heard. So, I mean, none of them are good.
Yeah, you're right. The best one has been Radical Heights.
Bad, actually.
Radical Heights had it right.
Radical Heights, where you can use a kick
Radical Heights,
shoot a man.
Radical Heights is a good name. So I'm
Dave Mirra for life.
All right, let's get out of here. That's been our DualShockers discussion on Hyperscape. Again, the game you should, if you're watching this video, there should be more information out about the game right now, and probably a lot of the things that we went over in great detail you can probably now readily find on the internet. We've also got some gameplay here that you can see in this video that I'm sure Mario spliced in as well if you want to see a little bit more of what we're talking about. Other than that, yeah, I think they've got a test plan for this game in the future at some point. I'm not really sure about the dates, but you should be able to get your hands on it sometime. And yeah, other than that, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to come back and visit us for more of these discussions like this. Be sure to visit us over at DualShockers.com for all of our other written work. I'm going to have a written preview up about this as well if you would like to check that out. I can't imagine I will be saying anything drastically different in that piece that we didn't touch on in this video, but you're welcome to go read that over at DualShockers.com. And yeah, other than that, you can follow us over on Twitter at DualShockers. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Moreman12. You can follow Mario. He's at that Mario Rivera. You can follow Michael. He's at the Michael Ruiz, right?
Yes.
Thought so. Okay, got it right that time. Anyway, that's all for us this time. Hope you enjoy watching this video. We'll see you around next time. Till then, have a good day. Bye.